I know a lot about dating because I watch a lot of dates. That sounds creepy. I host a dating show. So I've learned a lot about men and women and their interactions. And one important thing that I've learned is that when you like someone and you want to impress them, what do? You lie. You have to. Because if people knew how weird you were in your off time, no one would have you. Guy says to you, what do you like to do for fun? Girls, you can't be honest. You can't be honest about that shit. You can't be honest about what you were doing 10 minutes before you came to the door. You have to lie. What do you like to do for fun? You can't tell him. You can't be like, I really enjoy choreographing naked cheerleading routines to old Britney Spears CDs, and then I Google a bunch of hentai porn, masturbate, don't wash my hands, Facebook stalk my ex-boyfriend and his ex-girlfriends, jot down their place of employment for future reference, and then I go bake some cookies, and then I mouth kiss my dog and promise her that one day she'll be my wife. You can't say that. 9 times out of 10, guy asks a girl, what do you like to do for fun? The girl's answer will be, hiking. I love hiking. I do. Don't I? I do. I love hiking. I do. I love hiking. I do. I love it. I love hiking. No, you don't. Stop lying. You don't like, really, Stacy? You like hiking? Where are your trail spikes? Where's your walking stick? Where's your lesbian mountain partner? You don't like hiking. You don't even know what hiking is. Most modern girls don't really know what hiking is, okay? To the average girl, hiking is you wake up whenever you want, you put on Lululemon yoga pants because they make your butt look unreasonably good, as they should for $800. And you go for a walk in the park with your best friend and complain about how hungover you are. That's hiking. Yeah, I do it too. Promise you this, girls, it's not a sport if you can drink a Starbucks and have a pita while you're doing it. Do you want a piece of pita? Hiking. But there's a method to our madness. There's a reason women say hiking. We say hiking because we think guys like hiking. That's why we're doing it. Be outside where the bugs are? No. We think you like that. We're taught to believe that men are outdoorsy and rugged and they like nature. As far as we're concerned, you're the closest thing we know to a bear. So we say hiking hoping to have something in common with you. We honestly say hiking hoping that you'll be like, you like hiking? I like hiking. Marry me. It's the easiest thing you can say that you do. It's one of the only outdoor activities that you can lie and say that you do it, having never done it before, and then do it and pull it off because it's walking. You can't pull that off. You shouldn't be mating with anyone. Most outdoor activities require a decent amount of skill. For example, you can't say you like rock climbing if you've never been rock climbing. I mean, you can, but I promise you this, you're gonna go, you're gonna slip, you're gonna get your hand caught in a rock, 127 hours later, Stump's not getting you a second date, I promise you that. I don't know if girls want to hear this, but the truth is 90% of the activities that women engage in revolve around getting a guy's attention, okay? And it's just the way we're built biologically. This is just something we do. We love to get your attention. It's part of the sport of it, all right? You think I go to a sports bar because I like warm beer and sticky bar stools? No, I go because there's guys there. You think I do a pub crawl every year because I like it when my liver hurts? No, I go because there's guys there. We don't wear heels for our circulation. We do it to prop up our butts so you'll look at me and want to mate with me. That's why we do it. This isn't a game, all right? This isn't a push-up bra, it's body armor, and this ain't makeup, sweetheart, it's war paint. Let's make a baby.
And the things that are supposed to prepare women for life don't at all. Like, I was in the Girl Scouts. The Girl Scouts does not teach you any skills, right? The Girl Scouts basically teaches you to sell a bunch of cookies that you didn't freaking make, okay? Like, if you're to take the skills you learned in the Girl Scouts and apply them as an adult, you're selling things to strangers in a mini skirt. You're a hooker. That's what you do for a living. That's your job now. But guys learn real skills. You guys, go to the Eagle Scouts and you guys learn how to, make ropes and make fires and stuff. And women don't learn those kind of survival skills. And I was thinking about how much that pissed me off after that happened to me, But then I kind of got perspective. I was like, you know what? Guys may know how to make ropes and fires and stuff, but women, we can make people. Okay, that is pretty badass, okay? Give me the backseat of a Taurus and some Sutter home, I can duplicate. And guess what? It comes out on a freaking rope. It's hard, though. Going from a long relationship to starting to date again is very difficult, because when you're in a long-term relationship, you're comfortable, right? You don't have to wear any makeup. You can just pee in front of the person or whatever. When you're dating somebody new, you have to try to be perfect for the new guy. Like, I've been dating a new guy, and I've been trying to be so perfect. Basically, the first, 3 months of me dating this guy, every second has basically been me trying to not fart. That's all it is. Every second of every day, it's just like, please don't fart, please don't fart, please don't fart. Please don't fart. My ass is in the shape of its life. That's the upside. But the hard part is that I'll sometimes stay at his house for a couple days at a time, and I have to hold it in so long that by the time I leave, I'm like, all right, see you later. Sometimes you can catch air, you're like... Because you're always trying to be perfect for the new guy, Like, when I stay at this guy's house, the extent to which I try to be perfect for this guy, I will wake up at 6 a.m. while he's still asleep, sneak into the bathroom, put on a full face of makeup, sneak back into bed, so by the time he wakes up, I look like Lady Gaga or something. Which is so ridiculous. Women, we do not need to look cute in the morning for our man. We don't need it. Because, guys, before your eyes even open in the morning, you guys have erections. You don't even know what's lying next to you, and you're just ready to have sex with it. Really? You are heathens. You guys literally wake up in the morning, you're like, where's a hole? Give me a hole. It is barbaric.
So I went to the thrift store today, and I saw a t-shirt that said, "I'm a keeper," on it. I was like, well, someone must have disagreed with that. I'm from Boston, a little outside of Boston, and my friends are really excited, though, that I live in LA now. They're like, oh my God, you live in LA? Like, you must see celebrities all the time. And I'm like, yeah, we have TV here, too. A lot of people are like, who do you get that you look like? And I tell them that when I was little, I was often compared to a young Drew Barrymore. Got that a lot. And then as I got a little older, I got compared to a young Heather Graham. But now I like to think of myself more as a washed-up Dakota Fanning. It's more my type. I went home recently to visit my parents. Always nice. Brings back a lot of memories, like why I left. My mom and I are a lot alike in a lot of ways. She's a vegetarian. I'm a vegetarian. She cries very easily during movies. I also cry very easily during movies. She turned down Harvard, and I also didn't go to Harvard. I tried. I went to Boston University for a year, but I got so overwhelmed by the workload, so I went to my advisor seeking guidance, and she's like, Erica, if you think this is bad, just wait till you have kids. So I took her advice, and I'm not going to go back till I have kids. Maybe I'll be ready then. Who knows? But I'm actually glad, I didn't waste my parents' money on a fancy college education, because it turned out they really needed that money to pay my rent for the next 5 years. All worked out. My dad is actually in a wheelchair. Thank you for the moment of silence. Appreciate that. He has MS, which is a neurological disease, and I found out recently they actually have an MS walk. Just seems very disrespectful to me. So I went on it, just to find out what all the fuss was about, and it's basically just thousands of people showing off what they can do. Just so rude. My dad hates that joke, and I'm always like, sorry, Dad, but when I have an idea, I run with it. Unlike some people I know. So you're just gonna have to roll with it. He's a good sport. He's not good at sports. Some people think my humor is a little too dark, but they're just racist. So. I actually used to think I was too depressed to be a comedian, and then I learned I'm too depressed to not be a comedian. So, doing the right thing. I am in therapy which I like. I'm not sure I do it right because I spend most of my therapy sessions just showing my therapist video clips of my stand-up act. And I think I'll know I've really made it when I don't have to pay my audience $200 an hour. Whenever I get nervous though about not being really successful, I just think, Erica, there are starving kids in Africa who are way less successful than you are. Some of them don't even have an IMDb page. I have a friend who's always putting things in perspective. She's the perspective friend. And I had a bad day the other day, and she's like, Erica, you know what I do when I'm having a bad day to put things in perspective? I just Google child refugees. And it really helps. It's really? You have to go to that extremes? I just look up on Facebook which of my high school friends got fat. That seems to do the trick. We're both horrible people, but c'est la vie. That's French. She got a tattoo, too. She got a tattoo of a hummingbird on her arm. Hummingbird. She's like, Erica, you know what hummingbirds represent? They represent change. I was like, huh, you know what doesn't usually represent change? Tattoos. Not usually a symbol for change. When I first moved to LA, I actually worked at a medicinal marijuana clinic, which is a pretty cush job. It was kind of sad because I've never met so many 20-year-olds with cataracts. Just one after another. I don't actually do drugs. I don't really drink much. I was actually sober for 15 years, and then I turned 16. But sometimes I get a little crazy. Like last night, I did throw my socks from my bed into the hamper. In one shot. And I whisper to myself, you go, girl. That's the kind of party animal I am. I do some acting, a little bit of acting. Or as my mom says, I'm trying to be an actress. I'm like, Mom, no, I'm not trying to be an actress. I am an actress, okay? I'm trying to get you to send me money. I actually recently got cut out of an indie film, so now no one's ever gonna know I was in a film that no one's ever gonna see. I'm not gonna sell out. I'm not gonna do nudity ever, unless maybe it's for Scorsese, like a really good web series, infomercial, something important. Did have an audition recently, though, to play a Swedish secretary. Pretty big role, you know. So there are like a lot of blondes in the waiting room, and I overheard a Japanese guy say, they all look the same. And I was like, dude, that's racist. And he goes, blonde isn't a race. See, this is where the dumb blonde stereotype comes from. And I was like, hold on a second, I thought all Japanese guys love blonde girls. And he goes, I'm Filipino. Such an idiot, right? I mean, I didn't even ask for his name. Just launched a big Kickstarter campaign. I'm making a movie called Erica's Rent. And the goal is to raise at least $1,100 plus utilities before the end of the month. Thanks, guys. I'm Erica Rhodes.
I'd never seen Hispanic people before I came to America. That's why I'd never seen Hispanic people. We haven't got lots of Hispanic people in England. We haven't got lots of Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Cubans. I suppose it's a much longer swim. But the thing is that... I get the feeling I shouldn't have said that. Am I going to get fucked up by a cholo on the way home? I've never seen Hispanic people. Like and the thing is, you got different shades of Hispanic people. You got like darker skinned Hispanic people, like the Dominicans and stuff, right? They're the ones that confuse me. They did. The first time I came to America, I was in New York, and I was on the subway, and I was sitting opposite 3 people I assumed were black. And then they started speaking. ¿Qué pasa? I was like that. Black people have their own language in America. I've learned a lot since coming to America. I've learned a lot. What else have I learned? What else have I learned in America? Oh, when you guys get fat. You get really fucking fat. Like humongous. Like cartoon fat. Cartoon. It's not your fault, Americans. It's not your fault. It's not. I've been here a while now. So your food commercials. I've never seen so many food commercials in my life. America, let me give you a little bit of advice. Throwing a piece of lettuce at a pork chop is not a salad. It's not. It's a bit of leaf on a pork chop. Your food commercials. I've never seen so many food commercials. Like you got the Subway commercial, the Subway, $5 foot long. $5 foot long. This is why you're so fat, Americans. This is the first country in the world to start measuring their food in feet. I've never seen so many commercials for food. And it's all massive. It's all like, get this great big burger with extra beef and cheese and chicken and steak and bacon and cheese and beef and chicken and steak and bacon and cheese and beef and chicken and steak and bacon and cheese and beef and chicken and steak and bacon and cheese and beef and chicken. All on a sesame seed bun.
So many medicines being advertised on TV. And don't they sound good until they get to the side effects? And they say them so quickly in such an even tone, I'm not even sure what I heard. You'll have your hair forever. May cause your ass to bleed in public. I had a blood test recently. It turns out I have high cholesterol. Luckily, it's balanced out by low self-esteem. So I've been taking Lostima. And I also have too much vitamin D. I'm taking Hydema. But if you take Hydema with Lostima, may cause your ass to bleed in public. And my favorite new advertisement for a drug on TV is that one for the antidepressant that causes you to commit suicide. Have you seen that one? I think this drug might have left the laboratory a little bit too early. And Ambien, that sleeping pill, studies have shown people have walked in their sleep, talked in their sleep, cooked in their sleep, and cleaned in their sleep. I am going to take that sleeping pill. I need to get more done. So many drug ads, I'm beginning to think there are things wrong with me that I've been previously unaware of. I saw an ad for female Viagra. I didn't know there was anything on me that should be standing up. And I don't want to see any more ads That's for Cialis, so they explain why couples must use separate bathtubs. Does that make any sense to you? Once they drag the tubs up to the top of the mountain, aren't they too tired to have sex? And sex after 60 can be quite challenging. Between my bad back and his bad knees, it hurts and feels good at the same time. That's not to say we're not highly experimental, because we are. This year, we're going to attempt to achieve simultaneous colonoscopies. And last week we did have a surprise sexual encounter. It was so exciting. It was at 2 a.m. when we bumped into each other on the way to the bathroom. But things change. The meaning of words change. Getting lucky changes. In your 20s, getting lucky, meeting someone you're attracted to. In your 40s, getting lucky, finding a parking space. In your 60s, getting lucky, threading a needle. Good in bed, the meaning of that changes too. You know what? My husband is fantastic in bed. He stays very, very still, and he doesn't snore.
My husband is very smart and very quiet and an introvert and does very well, and then married me, and we've been exactly the opposite, but it has worked. He's a big man. He's 6'4". He can kick a door in, and I like that. He works like a dog, and he loves a baby. Let me tell y'all that he is a baby cuddler at East Tennessee Children's Hospital. He cuddles the drug-dependent babies every week of the world as a volunteer. I know, sweet. He didn't help me with mine, but... because he was out making a living and paying for all this. We've got 2 still in college, and I wanted a 4th baby so bad. When my baby child went to kindergarten, I nearly grieved myself to death. I thought, Lord, what am I going to do with all this time on my hands? I hope I don't get hooked on whiskey and start honky-tonking. And about 3 weeks into her going to kindergarten, I was like, woohoo! Woohoo! Now I can go get a pap smear without somebody sitting on my head. But my husband, when I dropped her off, he said, meet me at the IHOP, because he knows that pancakes get me through a hard time. And I was crying, and I said, I want another baby. And he said, why don't you get a job? Yeah, right. So... I said, I want a 4th baby. And he said, y'all are sucking the financial life out of me. So he bought me a dachshund. I had that dachshund for years. She's gone now. But let me tell you, she and I both got thyroid issues. She had cushions. I was walking her in our neighborhood one day, and a little girl came out in her driveway, and she said, can I pet your groundhog? Oh, y'all. So about my husband. All right, so my husband is a big man and is 6'4". I'm 5'8". We breed big kids. And we wanted them to be in sports and when they were growing up, and so we made them do all kinds of mess they didn't want to do. And we put our boy, when he was little bitty, we put him in T-ball. He hated it. I don't know if any of y'all have had a baby play T-ball, but for those of you who don't know, T-ball season, it's about 110 degrees outside. It's little children that are 4 look like they've got a diaper on under their baseball pants or a pull-up. The games last about 3 hours. Nobody ever hits the ball, throws the ball, catches the ball, makes contact with the ball. My baby laid in a fetal position in the outfield the entire season. He never touched a ball. Every once in a while, he'd pop his little head up and say, "Water." One game, it was so hot, and I told the middle one to go out and take her brother a water bottle. She was about 2.5, and she went walking out there with a tutu and a crown and a wand and her pink prostitute shoes from Walmart. She walked about halfway, stopped, got a glazed look over her eyes, pulled her little panties to the side, and pooped in the T-ball field. She really did. So I had to run out there and get a stick and flick it into the woods because I didn't want another child to step in it or think it was a milk dud.
You know, I met my husband and I fell in love with him. And I'm just gonna tell you, I love my husband. I'm not embarrassed to tell you. I love that man, right? And I only tell you that because the shit I'm about to say. Just because you love someone doesn't mean you don't see them exactly who they are. Because on paper, if you set us up, we're a perfect match. I told you, I'm 100% Sicilian. He's first generation Italian boy from Brooklyn, right? We should be perfect, but we're not. Because you wanna know why? He is the nicest guy on the planet. He has the hope of a 14-year-old girl. Right? He believes everything is possible. And it is my job as a good wife to crush that spirit. You are never gonna be a 47-year-old American Idol contestant. Get that shit right out of your head. Ridiculous. On paper, we're a perfect match. Real life, not so much. Didn't matter when we were dating that he's messy and I'm clean. Crazy clean, admittedly. I have a problem, I'm OCD. I watch hoarders and clean during commercials. Because I'm afraid a dead goat's gonna fall through the television under 22 years worth of newspapers and I will just burn the house down. That's what I will do. That's a very Italian thing to be clean. My grandmother was crazy clean. Wake up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom, come back, your bed would be made. She'd be at you. You messy. You and the caca, so messy. Disgrazia, so mess. It's 2:30 in the morning, woman. I know, you hungry? Yeah, I could eat, whatever. We're just different in real life. It didn't matter when we were dating. Didn't matter that I have a master's degree and he has a GED. Not just a GED, he's got 2 because he sent away for an extra copy. Because it's a double major. It only matters now because we have our kid. Our son is 4 years old, right? I want to send him to preschool. My husband goes, what do you want to do that for? For that, right there. How about that? Exhibit A, huh? I gotta put a little purple beret up here? What do you want? How am I gonna stake my case? It's insane. If you find it funny, trust me and believe me that it will find you. Because when I go to sign my 4-year-old for preschool, I happen to find the one preschool in our area that not only do you have to fill out an application, you have to write an essay. To get a child into preschool, an essay. And I'm gonna tell you something. If my essay can't get my son into that preschool, I will get an essay. I will get a Mexican gang member to terrorize that school board. This 4-year-old is getting into that school. I took it way too seriously. I was a student for too long. I wanted to write this beautiful essay. I got so nervous the deadline was coming up. My husband goes, I'll write it. Yeah, no. Not only will he not get in, we'll lose custody. It's not happening.
I wish I had gotten my father to try weed because he died of Parkinson's. and it was kind of rough, though. But one time, they don't have any faith that I could take care of them as they get older, mother and father. They don't understand this job. I went home one time unannounced. Both opened the front door. They had on those sunglasses that cover your whole head when you're 100 and you just had surgery. I said, what did you both do? Jackie, we got LASIK together. I said, why didn't you call me? We didn't want to bother you. So if I came home and you were both blind and there was a service dog on the porch, wouldn't that be an inconvenience? And who gets surgery as a family? Would you have a fucking Groupon? Do I have to move back here? My father was on so many medications with the Parkinson's, but I'm not gonna lie. They were fantastic. I tried some. He's gone. He died. They're all still there. I'm like, well, let's see what he was taking. One of them was a stool softener. I'm like, I wouldn't mind shitting faster, get more done during the day. I'll try a stool softener. Anxiety med. I'm anxious right now. Sleeping pills? What's it like to go to bed and not get up, pee 18 times before midnight? I can miss that. My father, when he passed away, when we were trying to go buy the coffin and stuff, when I tell you the anger, because it's like trying to buy a Toyota Corolla. Anybody here have family die and see what a racket it is trying to get them buried? The fucking caskets are made of like unusual mahogany. He's underground. The man selling it was like, the coffin, it stays airtight. I'm not down there with him. I don't give a shit if it leaks. I don't give a shit if water gets in there. It's airtight. It's underground. He could come alive and die again. I wouldn't care. It's underground. I wouldn't know. He can wake up and shit. You see your father? No, he's underground. My mother and aunt and me made the arrangements for his burial, and my mother and aunt are keeping up with the Joneses, show-offs, snobs. Okay? If I wasn't there, they'd have had him buried fucking Elvis style. The way they were ordering shit that we didn't have, they wanted to put him in a private house. They wanted to have a limo bring him. Bitch, you don't have, and this man died and left us no fucking money. I want to have him cremated and put him in the goddamn kitchen next to the plates. We don't have any money. It's a racket. And the guy selling us all the equipment at the funeral home, he kept trying to upsell us. Upsell people who were living. He's like, don't you think it's good to buy extra plots for like you and like your mom and your auntie? I said, sir, no one's going to die ever again. This is the last fucking person in my family to die. I'm not buying a fucking Corolla, sir. I'm a little sad though, because I didn't give my parents grandchildren. I don't have any kids. I'm not always happy about that. You know, I don't. I had a doctor, my last GYN, I swear to God, his name was Dr. Cox. No one in the office understood why I couldn't stop laughing. I'm like, no one, y'all, did you hear Dr. Cox? And he gave me an examination and he was like, you know, you better hurry up when he's looking for the whole baby stuff. They can tell when you haven't had kids. I'm like, doctor, I am trying. Because I don't have any. And when I date guys who are young, who still want kids, I remember one guy was so worried about having babies, because everything still works. Everything still works biologically, there's the word. But it's definitely on liquidation sale now. It's on clearance. You gotta go to the back, you gotta get the manager, you gotta get the ladder, you gotta get off the top shelf. When you get it down, you gotta, it's old, but it's there. This young guy's like, what do you use for birth control? I said, if you could get my old ass pregnant, that baby's name's congratulations. You a father. Are you crazy? Good luck. I almost had to get a job. Woo! During the panoramic, oh my God, I almost had to get a job. I had a Zoom interview, and she noticed that on my resume I have not had a job since 2010. And no, that's actually a good thing, but I was in the corporate world, she didn't know about all this. She's like, so I see you haven't had an office job since 2010. What have you been doing? Guess what the wrong answer is? The best I can. That's the right answer, but that's not getting me work. I miss having a 9-to-5 though. Because I miss my girlfriends. I miss having girlfriends at work. I had one girlfriend, my biggest memory, most fond memory, this young girl, 35 years old at the time. And she's like, Jackie, I'm a virgin. I'm like, I can't help you with that shit. I said to her, what are you waiting for? She said, I'm waiting for my prince to come on his white horse and sweep me off my feet. I was like, bitch, he ain't coming. No wonder you so angry. You need to get some dick. But she's like, you know what? I met a guy. He might be the one. I said, okay, let me ask about this guy. Tell me about him. She said, well, his name is Daryl. He used to play for the NBA, wears a size 16 shoe. I said, bitch, do you have a suicide wish? You don't know how to drive. It's like passing a driver's test and going to buy a Hummer. Go buy a Prius and learn how to drive before you die. And she's like, you know what, Jackie? I'm gonna go slow. I'm gonna get to know Daryl. I said, exactly. Get to know Daryl. While you get to know him, give him my card, okay? I've been driving trucks for 20 years. That's all I'm saying. I know what I'm doing.